Hello everyone. So welcome you all to Ashok Tutorials Mayala's first MT channel. So my dear friends, in this video we are going to start with English, all right, for UP section. So what syllabus we have here? Let's see. A constructivist approach to language learning. This is the first part we have to deal with. Create awareness about making connections between child's language, home language and school language inside and outside the classroom. So we will study how home language can be connected with the school language inside and outside the classroom. All right, so the first part, the first unit we have here is functional aspect of language. What is that? Functional aspect of language. And under functional aspect of language you have what is a language, construct language in different situations, and functions of language. What are those? What so of language. All right, so now let us start with constructivist approach to language learning. The constructivist approach to language learning is a theory that emphasizes the active role of learners in constructing their own understanding of language. So what is this constructivist approach? So this constructivist approach is nothing but it is a theory. Theory of what? It is a theory which emphasizes that how a learner learns, or how a learner construct his or her own understanding of the different languages. It is based on the broader constructivist theory of learning, which suggests that individuals actively build their knowledge and understanding through experiences and interaction with environment. So it is based on what? It is based on a broader theory. The theory which says that, learners, we don't have to actually teach them formally the languages, but they will acquire the language. How? Through their experiences and through their interaction with the environment. So this is how they learn the language. So this is what our constructivist approach theory has to say. All right, so here are key principles of the constructivist approach to language learning. So let us see what are the principles. So number one, we have active learning. See, by the word itself, active means what? Of course, here it is written about how the child has to be active in order to learn. Learners are actively involved in the language learning process. They engage in real world situations or tasks and experiences that require them to use language in meaningful context. Now you see, it says that language or the learners are actively participating where? In the language learning process. All right, they engage themselves in the real world situations and experiences, and they interact with the environment in order to learn the language. All right, social interaction. See, by the word itself you understand what they are going to talk about. Social interaction means what? How he or she is interacting with the family, with the neighborhood, with the teachers, with the friends, with the peers, with the elders, with the siblings, right? So social interaction is considered essential. Learners often learn language through communication with others. This can occur through conversation, group activities, or collaborative projects. So how we learn language. We learn language by talking to one another. Yes or no? Yes, right. If I want to learn Garo, I have to speak to my friends. If I want to learn Khasi, I have to speak to my friends, right? So by speaking, by reading, listening, writing, that is the way how we learn language. And also we can learn language by conversing, by talking to others, by communicating with others, and by taking part in the group activities, in the assignments, in the projects, and different type of collaborative work, right? Now, zone of proximal development, ZPD. So if you have watched my video CTP carefully, then you already know what do we mean by ZPD or zone of proximal development. I believe you already know because I already taught you in CTP. So it means, see, whose theory was it? Is it Piaget or Vygotsky? It is Leo Vygotsky, right? So who gave this? Leo Vygotsky gave this. What is the meaning of this ZPD or zone of proximal development? Let us see. This concept developed by Vygotsky is central to constructivism. See, as I told you in that video also, that whenever we talk about constructivism, we always bring into picture Leo Vygotsky. Leo Vygotsky is known as the social constructivist. So this concept or zone of proximal development talk about constructivism. It refers to what? It refers to the differences. What differences? Between what? Between what a learner can do independently and what they can do with the guidance and support of more knowledgeable person, example, teacher or peer. Now see here, they have to say, what they are trying to say is that, see, some of us, there are certain things which you can do alone. Yes or no? Right? Suppose if I ask you to, do a simple task. Suppose if I'm asking you to sing a song, you will sing, right? You can sing the song, but you do not know how to edit that song. But if I am helping you in editing the song, then of course the sound quality will be better as your original version, right? Compared to your original version, it will be better if I edit that. So now you are the learner and I am the more knowledgeable other. So I told you in last time's video also that KNO, you have to remember what is KNO. KNO means MK, more knowledgeable other. MKO, what is MKO? MKO means more knowledgeable other, right? Remember, this is important. So in this case, when you are singing and I am editing your song, then I am MKO. I am MKO means I am the one who is known as more knowledgeable other, which means if you are singing alone, then the work you can do has boundary. But if I have helped you, then you can do the same work but in a better way. So this is what a more knowledgeable other does. So here, suppose a child is solving a mathematical problem, then she solved already the addition, subtraction, multiplication, but she is not able to solve the division part. So in that case, if I am helping the child, then the child can solve that division part as well, right? So what did I do? I just guided her and gave her the suggestions. Yes or no? Yes, right. Language learners benefit from tasks that are just beyond their current level but achievable with support. Now, ZPD or zone of proximal development means that it is the difference between what? Difference between what I can do without somebody's support and what I can do with somebody's support, which means the singer who was singing the song first, right? She can do that alone also, no problem. Nobody needs to help her. But the work she has done with only by herself and the work she has done with me, and the difference between these two, that is what? That is the work she can done by herself and the work she can do with the help of other is known as zone of proximal development, right? There, see, last time also I told you regarding this scaffolding. Scaffolding means what should come into your brain? Scaffolding means temporary help, right? I give you the example of teaching bicycle riding to a learner or to your child or to anybody. I told you that, right? So what is scaffolding? Scaffolding means temporary help. Teachers and peers provide scaffolding or support to help learners progress through their ZPD. This support can take various forms such as hint, feedback, or modeling of language use. Now you see, we are human beings, so we all make mistakes, right? So scaffolding means temporary help which you will give to the learners, the support you will give to the learners, to advice you will give to the learners, right? so that they can progress in their zone of proximal development. So this support, our support, can take various forms. We can support the learners in different ways, like we can give them hint, we can give them feedbacks, we can give them modeling, or we can just advise or give them suggestions, all right, so that they are able to perform whatever the task they are assigned to with a better, by a better way. Constructing meaning. Constructing meaning means what? Think about the word itself, you will understand. So learners actively construct meaning by connecting new language elements to their existing knowledge. This process involves making sense of grammar, vocabulary, and cultural aspects within the context of language being learned. Now you see, constructing meaning means, of course, making something meaningful, right? Making something meaningful. But how will you make something meaningful? You will make something meaningful by taking care of the grammatical errors, by vocabulary, what is the meaning, what are the, what are the antonyms, what are the synonyms, and what are the cultural aspects within the context of which the language is being learned, right? Authentic materials. Authentic means what? Authority. The use of authentic materials, real world texts and context, is encouraged to make the learning experience more relevant and engaging. This can include newspapers, videos, and conversation with native speakers. Now you see, what is authentic materials? Authentic materials means which are recognized. The use of real world text and context, right? Making use of these things to make what? To make your learning experience a more precise, a more relevant one. And these authentic materials can be the videos, can be the newspapers, can be the conversation with the native speakers, right? Reflection. Learners are encouraged to reflect on their learning experiences. This can involve assessment, goal setting, and metacognition, which is thinking about one's thinking and learning process. Now, what is reflection? Of course, reflection means thinking about oneself or reflecting back on your thoughts and ideas. So learners are encouraged for what? Encouraged to do reflective thinking, right? To reflect on their learning experiences so that they remember, they learn what they have done. This can involve, so reflection can involve self-assessment. So when you are doing self-assessment of yourself, that means you are reflecting, all right? Or you are setting a goal for yourself that yes, by the end of February, I should finish all the 3 subjects of MTET, like that, right? Now, let's see the next one. Factors as learning opportunities or errors, all right? It's errors, right? Errors as learning opportunities. Errors are viewed as natural and valuable part of the learning process. They can help learners identify gaps in their understanding and guide them toward improvement. What is this now? See, we are human beings, so we always make mistake, right? Mandirangde mistake kode takaya mo. Mashiba mashigi jaba baskode mashiba chung mistake ko takna mana baskode mashigi jaba takna mana ba mo. Maino lo ban chingde mandesa. We are human beings. So there is a quotation also, right? In English, to err is human. To err is human means human being is prone to making mistakes. If human beings do not make mistakes, who will make mistake, right? So we human beings are prone to making errors. So errors are viewed as what? Errors means something by which we can learn something. If I have made a mistake in this video, I should, if suppose my voice is not audible, which means you have to, put the full volume in your phone to listen to my voice. That means my error is that my mistake is that I have not spoken loud enough, which means the way I was speaking was very, very soft, right? So I will take care that in next video I do not repeat the same mistake, or I do not speak that softly as I have done in my previous video. So this is a feedback, this is a learning process, right? So that's why whenever we make mistake, we should always learn from them. They can help learners identify gaps in their understanding and guide them toward improvement, of course. So whenever we make mistakes, we should always accept the mistake and try to improve them, right, dear friends? So never take mistakes into your ego. Don't think that, hey, I cannot make mistake. I am somebody who is always right, who is always perfect, who is always correct. You are wrong, I am not wrong. No, don't do like that, all right? Sometimes you accept your mistakes, because when you accept your mistake, the things become easy. But when you are arguing, fighting with somebody, even after knowing that it's your mistake, then you're just wasting your time, mood, and everything, the relation, right? In essence, the constructivist approach to language learning places the learner at the center of the learning process, emphasizing active engagement, social interaction, and the gradual development of language skills through meaningful experiences and scaffolding. This is very, very important. What does it say? It says that learner, the students, or anybody, any learner, they are the constructivist, which means they can construct their own language skills. They can learn it by themselves. But how? They can learn by themselves by taking active participation in the activity, by interacting with the society, and by gradually developing their language skills, right? Now let us see awareness about making connections between the child's home language and school language inside and outside the classroom. How are we as teachers going to interconnect the language child speaks at home and the language child speaks at school, both inside and outside the classroom? Let us see. Creating awareness about making connections between a child's home language and school language, both inside and outside the classroom, is crucial for fostering linguistic and cognitive development. So it is important, all right? It is important that you connect the home language of the child and school language of the child, so that the child understand the language, and the child is able to comprehend what he or she is learning in the classroom with the outside world. So here is a detailed explanation with examples of how this can be done, or how can we achieve, or how can we connect classroom language with the home language inside and outside the classroom. Let us see. The first case we have here is inside the classroom. Bilingual and multilingual education. Bi means what? Bi and di means two, right? Bi means two. Lingual means language. Multi means what? Multi means more than two, right? So multimillionaire or multiple choice questions, you know that. And here bi means bisexual flower. You have heard that, bisexual flowers. So bi means two, multi means more than two, many. Multi means many. So inside the classroom, what are you going to do? You are going to use multilingual and bilingual education. What is this now? Let us see. Implement bilingual or multilingual education programs where students are encouraged to use their home language alongside the school language. For example, if a child speaks Spanish at home and English at school, a bilingual program may use both languages for instructions. Now you see, you try to encourage the students, the children, that they use the school language, and at the same time they also use their home language to translate, to understand, to comprehend whatever they are learning in school language with the vocabulary or with the word they speak in their local language. So we can encourage the learners to interconnect the two languages, right? Culturally relevant materials. Integrate culturally relevant materials into the curriculum. Include books, stories, and activities that reflect the cultural and linguistic diversity of the student. This helps students see the value in their home language. Now you see, when now we are at school, right? We learn Garo, we learn Khasi. So the stories in our textbooks are local stories, right? It is the story about our traditions, about our cultures, about our festivals, about our dresses, about our languages, about our history, right? Why? Because we are able to interconnect. We are able to interconnect the English language along with Garo language, Khasi language along with English language, right? So that's why we give importance to our culture and traditions while language learning. Language exchange partners pair students who speak different home languages are for language exchange activities. For instance, if one student speaks Mandarin and another speaks Spanish, they can teach each other their respective languages. Now you see, in a school we have diversity. Bengali speaking, Khasi speaking, English, not English speaking is hard, but Garo speaking, Assamese speaking, Bihari speaking, Nepali speaking. So all these students are there in our classroom, right? So now suppose if somebody speaks, suppose there are two boys, Karan and Arjun. So one is Khasi, another one is Garo, right? So now what they can do is the Khasi one can teach Garo, the Garo one can teach Garo to the Khasi friend, and Khasi friend can teach Khasi to the Garo friend. So this is how they can work together, right? So now let us see family involvement. Encourage parents and caregivers to actively participate in their child's education. Host family events and workshops where the importance of home language is discussed and parents are given resources to support language development at the home. Now, family involvement. So even in our language learning, the parents should be involved. The parents should teach us the values, the ethics, the feelings, the emotions which we have in our own language, and should help us to take care of the language, to take care of the culture, to take care of the traditions we have, right? So the parents should play an active role. So the parents should play an active role. Code switching awareness. Teach students about code switching, the practice of alternating between languages. Explain when and how code switching is acceptable and useful. Encourage students to articulate the benefit of using multiple language. Now you see in your mobile keyboard, in your laptop keyboard, you see English language. What is English? English means the language Hindi and English together. So now you see all of us, we don't speak in pure Garo or pure Khasi or pure English. If I'm speaking in Garo, I will still make use of English words. For example, if I say Ripingrang, Dawancheng, April Kurgut Pungao, MTET exam, Segen Bamo, Digimang Nasimanguna Name, prepare Kabo, Name Poraibo, Digimang Gamuk subject con Machot Nagata, Jobton Kabo, Aro Nasimang previous year's question paper ango practice kabo. Now you see, whatever the sentence I have used, I have also used English words like previous year's question papers, or like your MTET exam word I have used, right? So these are what? These are intermixing. I am mixing English words in Garo language. So this is also one way of learning, right? Examples inside the classroom. So we have already seen outside the classroom. Now let us see inside the classroom. So all right, we have not seen inside. We are dealing with only inside the classroom, right? Outside the classroom will be coming up. All right, inside, yeah, this one is inside only. So let us see the example now. Inside the classroom. In a science lesson, students can be asked to research and present their findings in both their home language and school language. This showcases the value of multilingualism. Create a language of the week bulletin board where students can share words, phrases, or cultural insights in the home language and school language. Now you see, how can you help the children in learning the languages inside the classroom? So in a science lesson, for example, students can be asked, you can ask the students to do research and present their finding in two languages, one in school language or English language and another one in Garo or Khasi. So this showcases the value. So this will show the value of how different languages help us to learn. So you can make use your notice board or your bulletin board and you can paste there whatever findings you have in your own home language, right? Now, community involvement, extend language awareness efforts to the community, organize cultural and language festivals or events where students can showcase their home languages, invite community members to share their linguistic and cultural knowledge. Now, as a community, as Garo community, as Khasi community, as Jaintia community, we should extend language awareness, right? We should take some extra effort to help our community organize the different events, different programs, different cultural programs, the language festivals. Like we have different type of festivals in Shillong, in Garo Hills, right? So that festivals can be made used in order to extend our cultures and traditions and language as well. So invite community members. We can organize some small programs and ask the members, the community members, to convey or talk on language, the importance of Khasi language, the importance of Garo language, right? Language clubs, start language clubs or extra curricular activities where students can use their home languages. These clubs can focus on cultural exchange, storytelling, or language games. Now, in schools also we have got different type of clubs, right? NCC, NSS, then different type of other clubs. So we can also encourage language clubs. What will language club do? Language club will take part in extracurricular activities, and the students can make use of their home language, and these will allow them to exchange their culture and also improve in their skills of storytelling or language development by taking participation in language development games, in storytellings, in poem recitation, etc. Right? Now, media and technology. Encourage the use of media and technology that support multilingualism. Apps, websites, and social media platforms in multiple languages can be valuable resource for children to practice and engage with their home language. Now you see, this is what I already told you. So we can make use of different apps, we can make use of different websites, we can make use of social media platforms in learning different languages. So now whenever you buy a new mobile phone or whenever you install a keyboard in your phone, what happens? They give you the choice to select the language: Spanish, Urdu, Arabic, or Garo, or Khasi, or Hindi, whatever it's according to you, which language you want to make use of, right? Now, language awareness campaigns. Launch language awareness campaigns in the school and local community. These campaigns can highlight the cognitive benefit of multilingualism, the preservation of cultural heritage, and advantage of being proficient in both home and school languages. Now, we should also organize language awareness programs or campaigns in the school and also in the community, in the neighborhood, in the village. These campaigns will help us to preserve, to expand, to extend our cultural heritages, and also it will give us profit in being proficient, fluent in what? In English and also our home language, be it Khasi, be it Garo. All right. Now, community language resource. Collaborate with local libraries, community centers, and organizations to provide resources in multiple languages. This can include multilingual books, language classes, and cultural events. See, my dear friends, sometimes we are even disadvantaged. Why? Because we don't have enough content in our own language, right? We don't have the textbook or the NCRT books we want in Khasi language. We don't have them in Garo language. So that's why sometimes these are the barriers which stops us from building a better concept of the topics which is available in the books, right? These are the limitations. So what we can do now, so we should try as much as possible that we collaborate with the local authorities, with the local bodies, with the local libraries and community centers, and also organizations, and promote our own language and practice multilingualism. Why? Because this will include multilingual books. We can make use of books, we can make use of language classes, and we can make use of cultural events in developing our language skills. Now, examples outside the classroom. So how outside the classroom, what we are going to do, let us see. Organize a community language fair where students can showcase their language skills and cultural heritage to a wider audience. Create a community language resources directory listing businesses, services, and organizations that support multilingualism. By implementing these strategies both inside and outside the classroom, educators and communities can raise awareness about the importance of making connections between child's home language and school language. This not only supports language development but also celebrates cultural diversity and enriches the educational experience for all students. So, here, in the form of an example, outside the classroom, we can organize a community language program or a fair or an exhibition where the students will showcase their multilingualism skills, their cultural heritages. So we can do or we can create a language community directory, right, where we can list the businesses, services, and organizations that will support our multilingualism or our skills of speaking different languages. So by implementing these strategies both inside and outside the classroom, what happens is that the educators and communities can raise awareness about the importance, why it is important, why we should integrate the languages, why we should practice multilingualism, bilingualism inside and outside the classroom, and of course the most important here is preservation of our culture and traditions. Now you see, we we live in diversity. Meghalaya is a diverse state. So we have different languages, different groups of people, then we are different in our cultures, right? If we talk about the major tribes of Meghalaya, the Khasi, the Garos, and the Jaintias, we have our own festivals, right? We have our own dress up or the attire. We have our own language. We have our own dances, right? So we are unique in our own way. So why not protect our language, which is also unique? So we as brothers and sisters, we as the citizens of India, we as the the brothers and sisters of India, why not protect our language, particularly the Meghalaya? So we know that Meghalaya is a diverse state, right? Our state is diverse. We have diversity and we still believe in unity in diversity. So even in spite of having so many diversities, different language, different cultures, different traditions, we still live in harmony. We still live in peace with one another, right? So now let us start the functional aspect of language. Before that, let us see what is a language. So, language is a complex and multifaceted system of communication that humans use to convey meaning through words, sounds, and symbols. It is a fundamental tool for expressing thoughts, emotions, and ideas, and it serves several key functions in different situations. Now, what is a language? So, language is a medium, right? Language is a medium, or it is a it is a complex and multi-phased system of communication which help human beings to convey, to say what they want to say, to converse with one another. How? Through messages, through words, through sounds, through actions, through symbols. So it is fundamental tool. So language is a fundamental tool. It is very important because through the language we can share our thoughts, ideas, emotions, right? And also it serves as key functions in different situations. So here's a detailed explanation of the functional aspect of language with examples. So let us see what is the functional aspect of language. So number one, we have expressive function. Very simple. I don't even have to explain all this. Expressive function means what? Of course, it is going to talk about expression, how we express ourselves, right? So the expressive function of language allows individuals to express their emotions, feelings, and thoughts. It enables them to convey their inner states to others. Of course, expressive function means using the language we can express ourselves. I am angry, I am sad, I am happy. I can express that by making use of languages, signs, or symbols. Yes or no? So example is given here. When someone says, I am so excited about the upcoming trip, they are using languages expressively to communicate their emotions, right? Suppose if you say, I'm so excited that MTED exam is coming on the 25th of April, or somebody says, I'm so sad, this MTED exam is starting or coming on the 25th of April. It should have come by December. So what are you doing? You are expressing yourself. You are expressing your excitement, happiness, and sadness at the same time, right? Now, referential function. Reference. What do you understand by reference? Reference means in reference to something. So, the referential function is used to convey information and describe the world. It helps individual reference people, objects, and events. For example, the Eiffel Tower is in Paris. This is a sentence that serves a referential function by providing information about the location of famous landmark. So, of course, referential means we will make use of the locations or the places or the buildings in order to share the knowledge about something. For example, if we say Taj Mahal is in Agra. So what is this? This is a piece of information which I have provided you, right? How? With the help of the monument or with the help of the location of the seven wonders of the world, right? Directive function. Definition: the directive function is employed to give instructions, make requests, or provide guidance. It is often used in situations where individuals want others to take specific actions. Please pass the salt is a directive statement that communicates a request to someone at the dinner table. What is this now? This means that directive function means if you are, requesting, if you want something but from other. Suppose if you ask somebody, can you please close that door? Can you please pass me that book? Can you please excuse me and let me go or let me pass by? So what are these? These are the request, the pleading. You are asking, requesting somebody to excuse you so that your work can be done. So this is directive function. Now, fatigue function. The fatigue function of language is used for social interaction and maintaining communication. It helps establish and maintain rapport without conveying specific information. Examples: greeting like hello, how are you, are the fatigue functions by initiating or continuing conversation rather than conveying new information. So now you see this fatigue function is important. So fatigue function means you are talking to somebody but you do not reveal anything about yourself. Suppose if you are, on the way to morning walk, you're doing morning walk, and on the way you meet somebody, then you are saying, hey, hello, good morning, how are you? So these things are what? These things are fatigue function of the language, where you are not asking for any information, but you are just saying hi, bye, right? Meta-linguistic functions. The meta-linguistic functions involves using languages to talk about language. It is often used for clarification, explanation, or discussing language itself. Example: when a teacher explains the meaning of a word or discuss grammar rules with students, they are using meta-linguistically. They are using language meta-linguistically. So now I am using language meta-linguistically because I am teaching you language only, right? And I am also using a language, and you are also using a language to understand the language, right? So that is called meta-linguistic function. Aesthetic function. The aesthetic function focuses on the artistic or aesthetic qualities of language. It is often used in poetry, literature, and other forms of creative expression. Examples in poetry: metaphors, similes, and figurative language serves the aesthetic functions by enhancing the beauty and depth of the text. Now, see, aesthetic value. Language also has got aesthetic value, which means it beautifies The poems, you have seen different type of poems, right? How the learners, how the poets, they write the poem. It is so interesting. It is so, emotional sometimes, so romantic sometimes, so rhyming, so, so much figurative, or so much soothing that you enjoy reading the poem to the fullest, right? So this is the beauty or the aesthetic value the language has on the poems or the piece of art, right? Cognitive function. What is the cognitive function of language? The cognitive function of language involves organizing thoughts and reasoning. It aids in problem solving, decision making, and critical thinking. For example, in mathematics, when a student explains the steps to solve a complex problem using mathematical language and reasoning, they are utilizing language for cognitive purposes. This is very simple. So, cognitive means what? Cognitive means your mind, your mental health, your brain, right? So the cognitive function of language involves organizing. So you are, using your brain to think, to reason out, to put the logics, to make the decisions, to do the critical thinking. You are making use of what? You are making use of your cognitive abilities in the process of language learning. Here an example is given of a mathematics. So when a student is trying to solve the mathematical problem by using different steps to solve a complex problem, then he or she is making use of the mathematical language and reasoning. They are, utilizing the cognitive ability they have, right? Second one is, another one even is cognitive function. Cognitive is what? The cognitive function is all about using language to influence or persuade others. It is often seen in advertisement, speeches, and persuasive writing. Now you see, cognitive means, always remember, the MLAs, the ministers, what do? They give speeches, right? They give speeches how? In order to influence you, in order to convince you, yes, we will construct the road from here to there, from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, we are going to construct the road, but you have to vote for me. These are the persuasive speeches where they are seeking your, attention, or they are seeking your support. The advertisement, you will see 10 teachers are required, and with handsome salary, 25,000 salary per month. So this is for what? This is for, making you or attracting you to gain your attention. They do it. Example, a political speech that aims to convince people to support a particular candidate or policy uses language with a cognitive function. So this is what just now I explained. Now, evocative function. The evocative function of language is about inspiring emotions, memories, or response in others. It is often used in storytelling and rhetoric. Example, when a storyteller uses vivid and descriptive language to evoke a sense of adventure or nostalgia in the audience, they are employing language evocatively. Understanding the multifaceted nature of language and its various functions is crucial for effective communication and expression. Depending on the situation, individuals use language in different ways to achieve their communication goals, whether it's sharing information, expressing emotions, influencing others, or simply maintaining social connections. So now you see, my dear friends, evocative function means when somebody is telling you a story, the way he or she is telling you the story, the inspirational story, or the, something, any experience he or she had, the art, when a storyteller uses to describe the language to, inculcate in you a sense of nostalgia, a sense of emotion, a sense of feeling, that is known as evocative function. So when a storyteller uses vivid and descriptive language to make a sense of adventure or nostalgia in audience, they are employing language evocatively. All right, so that's why, my dear friends, depending on the situation, whatever the situation we are in, individuals use language but in different ways. Why? so that they can achieve their communication goals, whatever they want to say, whatever they want to convince, whether they are by doing it by sharing information, by expressing emotions, by influencing others, or simply by maintaining social connections. So there can be different ways and different modes to carry out the process of language development. All right, so I think this is all in this video. So thank you everyone for staying connected with the Ashok Tutorials Meghalaya's first MTech channel. Thank you.